Yo, what's up guys? My name is Josh Stein, and if you're new to my channel, I like to keep my videos short and sweet with as much description and detail as possible. Now in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Canon XS/1000D in 2022, and has anything else changed since my last video I did about this in 2020. Now let's get started. So with technology improving and other cameras being on the market, is this 12-year-old camera still going to do its job in 2022? That's the question we're going to answer today, and you'll hear my answer as the video goes on. Let's get started. So I did a whole review on this in 2020. As you guys know, I probably mentioned it a lot. Just click on the card right here. It's going to bring you to that video, and it will show you through all the settings and if it's still worth it in 2020, but that you're probably not interested in that. But if you're interested in the settings, go click on this video. It will help you a lot. I'm not going to describe it in this video because I already made one. I probably will if it's outdated in the future, but we're going to be focusing on the quality and the depth of field and like all the different lenses today that are going to be best for this camera, and answering the question that I said previously. So we're actually going to go into the menu real fast, and it's going to be on the first tab. We are going to go to quality, and we're going to set it to the highest quality. This will give you the best resolution photos for a $150 camera, maybe even less than that. It's going to be 3888 by 2592, and that's going to be raw and regular. So it's going to give you two types of photos. One, if you don't like it, you can, like the JPEG for example, you can edit the raw in post and it will drastically improve the photo quality. Not the quality, but like the colors and everything in it. So we are going to exit out of that, and we are going to actually go here to, let's see where it is. We're going to go over to the 5th tab, and we're going to click on the live view function settings. We're going to enable that, so instead of having to look through the viewfinder all the time, you can just put the set button in one of the program manual, aperture priority, or shutter priority. Any manual mode you can push set. In the auto mode it will not work, so please don't ask about that in the comments. Just go ahead and enable this right here, and we're going to exit out of the menu. Now, I don't have a lens attached right now. I will be attaching the lens in a second. But once you're in, like, for example, program auto, you push the set button, and it's going to give you the live display. You can even change the display options, like fancy like that. And you can even go back to set and look at all the display options again. There we go. Alright. So now we're going to attach the new lens, the 18-270, with this camera, and see how good of pictures we could take in my room, because right now I'm not going to leave my room. If you want to see the picture quality of the 18-270, go look in the other video. It's going to be right here, and that is going to describe the picture quality of that lens with the Canon M200 with the EF mount. So that's a whole nother video. Just go ahead and click on that, and that will show you the picture quality. But right now I'm just basically testing out the body of this camera. We're going to be testing out maybe this lens, the 18-270, with the Canon XS/1000D, and it's the newest lens I bought. I've already tested out like the 85mm and 50mm and all 1855, like all that stuff will be in the other video that I linked up above in the description and in the cards right here. So basically, let's just go ahead and take a few shots with this camera. The ISO is very low. It's only going to be like 1600. It's, like I said, a very old camera, so if you're shooting in low light, probably not the best camera for you. But there is a few workarounds, like you can get a higher aperture lens, like an f1.8 or something, and that will definitely help. I know with the low light it actually does work pretty well. Even with the low ISO, it'll make your pictures look a lot more crisp, and you won't get that noise and grain to it. So let's go ahead and test it out. Alright, this actually does look pretty sweet right now. It's like a wide-angle zoom lens on the Canon Rebel XS/1000D. It actually fits the lens like perfectly in this body. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's just perfect for what you're doing. It's an f3.5 to f6.3, 18 to 270, and with this body, it should work perfectly. It fits absolutely amazing. So let's go take some shots. And before I go around any of that, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and press the set button because my eyes are small. And while this is a 2.5-inch LCD, the viewfinder is actually it's 12 years old, so let's just say that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push the set button, and it's gonna give me that live view. So there we go. Let's go test it out now. So as you could tell, I'm not a professional photographer. If you are taking landscape photography, close-up photography, you name it, and with the specs I analyzed, is it going to be enough for your needs? So if you have a previous camera and it wasn't getting the job done or something, or you just want a secondary camera, and will it be enough for you? Well, I put the specs up on the other screen so you can actually rewind this video and determine if those specs are going to be enough. Now, you saw the example photos, and with the specs being put on those example photos, you can actually determine if it's going to be the right fit for you. So this camera is also really good at detecting different scenes, which means while you just have to switch a dial for the selected scene, like for example, if I wanted to do close-up or portrait, let's just do portrait. I'm going to switch it to the portrait icon right there, and it's going to do its best to capture the face and blur the background just like a portrait would be. If you're trying to take landscape, switch to the cloud and mountain icon, and it'll be perfect for landscape photography. Same, let's do one more. Macro, you just do close-ups, very simple, and it will do its best to focus on the closest object. And then sports, it will take, like, you can even switch it to the burst mode, which is 3 FPS per second, very slow, but if you're looking for a little boost, it does shoot 3 FPS per second, and with autofocus. And then we also have a lot of other modes, but those are going to be the default settings for you guys. So we're coming to an end, and with this camera, the question was, is it still worth it in 2022? Well, you tell me. I'm not going to be the one to really tell you that. My opinion is, yes, it is. If you're on a budget and you're looking for photography camera, this is a good choice. Now, if you're looking for a video camera, this does not shoot video, so I would not recommend buying this just for the video because you need like external software on the computer and it's a whole mess. I would not recommend it. But with some more specs, a 2.5-inch LCD screen that has a viewfinder, a hot shoe mount, a video out, a remote, and a USB for a computer connection. Does not include external charging, which means you cannot attach a power bank to this or plug it into the wall. You will need a dummy battery or coupler battery to plug into the bottom of this and then have it go out. But that would be very difficult since you need to replace the door and everything. It's a whole mess. But this does have very good battery life because the battery is actually a pretty decent sized battery. Here is the size of it. It's pretty decent actually, and if you're just taking photos with this camera, you're not running out of battery for a while. That's for sure. If this was a video camera, I could see a lot more battery being drained, but that's gonna wrap it up for this video. The question is, was it still worth it in 2022? And my answer is yes. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below with all these specs, and I will see you in the next one.